Hello everyone, this is the Jeff Cowan coming to you from thejeffcowan.com. Welcome back to my weekly podcast entitled Success in Professional Sales and Life in General. And thank you for coming back. And if you want to do me a favor, if you like these, tell all your friends about it. The bigger the audience we have, the more I can do for you, the more I can help you out, because the more information I get from you. And I need you to do me another favor. Not only tell your friends, but go to all the social media stuff that we're on and like us a lot. You can't like us too much, okay? Well, I've got another great meeting for you, I think, here today, another little podcast here, and it's all based on what I've been getting from the text and the emails, the telephone calls that I get from the many followers here, and that's kind of where that's kind of how I decide what I'm going to talk about, as I kind of follow the trend of what's being talked about in your emails and text. And so, a lot of buzz around online presentations. So how do you do a successful online presentation? How do you get it set up so that people really get excited about what it is you're showing them? So we're going to cover about 9 steps very quickly here today, because we try to keep this within 15 minutes, on how to make your next online presentation the most successful it can be, so it gets you the deal. So let's jump right into it. Number 1, you're going to send an evite. Now, when you're sending this evite or invite, you just follow the steps for whoever it is you use. If you use webinars or you use GoToMeeting is the one we use, just follow their steps and send out the evite. Now, include as many people as you can of your prospects, their email addresses in. It's a great way to get multiple email addresses, because many times you might be talking to a subordinate and they're setting up the meeting for like maybe the vice presidents, the CFOs and all that stuff, and many times they don't understand how these online presentations always work. So what I always do is I always just say I need everybody's email address so I can send it right to their email box, and then I've got their email addresses, which is great for follow-up and future contact and the like. But you're going to send out that evite per the instructions of, for example, of a company like GoToMeeting. Step number 2, immediately after you send that evite, step number 2, you're going to send a what's needed for the meeting email. Now, included in this is about 3 things. A, what they need, what your prospects need. Okay, what do they need to bring to the meeting? What information do they need? Do they need to bring what? Okay, what they need. If it's nothing, it's nothing. B, what the agenda is going to be. Now, when you get to the agenda, don't go into too much detail, because if you go into too much detail, you could start creating objections and get cancellations and the like. Just a brief overview on what you're going to cover. And what I like to do with my agendas is, in this brief overview, is just highlight the benefits we're going to cover. We're going to cover the benefits of you doing this, the benefits, okay? And then finally, under number 2C, the length of the meeting. Now, this one here is important, because the last thing you want to do is tell somebody, oh, well, let's do an online presentation, it's just going to take a few minutes. Or let's just do an online presentation, it won't take very long. Or let's do an online presentation, I can do it quick. Okay, well, what does not very long mean? What does a few minutes mean? All right, so be very detailed and exaggerate. If you know your meeting is going to take at least 15 minutes for you to give the presentation, tell them you need 25 or 30. If you know you need 25 or 30, tell them you need 40 or 50. It's better to give and exaggerate it, okay? Because for a number of reasons. One, you don't want them to get on there thinking they're going to be on there for 10 or 15 minutes, and then you're not even through the first part of your presentation 30 minutes in. You're going to discourage them, okay? You're going to turn them off, and what it's going to sound like is you're just big blowhard and you can't deliver on what you promised. You said a few minutes, we've been here for a half hour. So always exaggerate that and be upfront with it. What I like to tell people in that area is, basically what we need for me to cover everything is going to take me 20 minutes to go through it, assuming you don't have any questions. If you have questions, and I encourage you to have as many questions and voice your concerns as much as you can, it could take longer, but it's going to be at least 20 minutes for me to present it, and let's just, to be safe, schedule another 20 minutes for any questions you may have. If we need it, great. If we don't, then there we go. All right, so number 1, send the evite. Number 2, send that email. And then number 3, this is important. Please, when you stop your car or wherever it is you're listening to this, so you're safe, write this down, okay? Write this down. 3, immediately after you send the evite, and immediately after you send the what's needed / agenda email, immediately follow up with a phone call or a text telling the prospect that, hey, I just sent the evite, I just sent the agenda for the meeting, make sure you got them both. If you don't have them in your email box here within the next 5 or 10 minutes, you might want to check spam or junk or whatever, or let me know, because it has been sent. All right, now, notice I say text, but it's only okay to send a text if they've given you their cell phone number and said you can send a text. But make sure you do that immediately. Don't send the evite and sit on it for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Don't send the agenda stuff and sit on it for an hour and a half, 2 or 3 hours, and wait for them to to click the thing. Because if you tell them I'm going to send this, all right, and you wait, it sounds like you're dragging out. But if you send it, and then immediately just pick up the phone and say, hey, look, I just pushed the send button. You've got not only the evite in your email box, but you should have the agenda and what you need to bring and all that stuff. If it's not there, you might want to check your junk file. You might want to check spam. If it's not there, let's say 10, 15 minutes, let me know, and I will resend it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen salespeople lose a hot prospect simply because they send this stuff out, they depend on technology and internet, and the people think they never got it or you never sent it. One of the things that just sends a chill down my back is when I hear one of the clients say, call us up or email us and say, I never got the invite. It makes me livid. You got to do that immediately. It shows that you're on the ball, shows you care, and shows that this meeting is as serious to you as it is to them. Okay, it's just good customer service. Number 4, moving on here. So now you've sent the evite, you've sent them what's needed, what the agenda is. Now you followed up with a text or phone saying, hey, I've sent you this stuff. Now you want to do is you want to prepare. And the way you prepare is real simple. PDR, practice, drill, rehearse. Practice, drill, rehearse. Practice, drill, rehearse. I don't care how many times you've done this presentation. At least pull it up and go over it. Make sure you're familiar. Put any special notes in that you need to off to the side that you need to talk about at different points. But put any extra benefits in. If you need to change your presentation to suit the customer's needs and what it is they're looking for, make sure you do that. And then practice, drill, rehearse what you're going to say. Practice, drill, rehearse what you're going to say. I always do this. Now, I do know that there are times where I will have somebody on the phone and say, well, if you like, I can do an online presentation for you. And if you're in front of a computer, I can send you an invite right now. I can do it right now. And many times I have to do it right now, which is fine because I'm always prepared. But most of the time you do these, you're going to schedule it for later in the day or the next day or maybe later in the week or at another time. Always make sure that you practice, drill, rehearse so you're ready to go. You sound professional. You know what you're talking about, and you're addressing their concerns, their wants, their needs, the benefits they will get to solve the problems they have. Okay? So that's the first 4 of the 9 that we're going to talk about. And I want to do a quick commercial. 2 books here. You know, we've got graduation coming up. We've got people leaving high school, people leaving college, going out into the world to make their start. 2 books here would be perfect for them. I've got Write Service, Write Your Own Paycheck. That's a sales position that's out there. There's actually 35,000, last time I saw, 35,000 of these positions open across the United States of America as we speak. This book will show that young graduate exactly how to do it. Now notice I said high school graduates and college graduates. That is perfect. I mean, imagine giving your son or daughter who decided they didn't want to go to college for whatever reason, you give them a book that has a plan in it to show them how to step out and get a job that on average pays $65,000 a year. And if they do it right, 20% of the people doing that job can do $100,000 a year. I've seen many people, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old, male, female, don't make it, slice it up if you want, walk into that career and make that money out of the gate. Out of the gate. All right, great book for that. Another one, What I've Learned from Attending Over 35 Indy 500s, stories about sales, lessons about sales, motivation, leadership, management, and life in general. This is great for the young person starting out, whether they're walking out of college or high school. And by the way, that other book's good for college graduates too, because many people go and then they don't like what they studied, so there you go. All right, but either one of these books would be great, and you can get them at thejeffcowan.com, thejeffcowan.com, or you can go to amazon.com, get them in paperback, hardcover. You can get them in for your Kindle. In about 3 weeks, they'll be available in an audiobook. Both those books will. So get those books. They're fun. And they're selling very well, especially this one right here, man. We just put it out, and it is rolling off the shelves. Doing well. Back to the podcast here, okay? So what we were talking about in the podcast is how to have a successful online presentation, and we pretty much covered the things you're going to do prior to the actual presentation, and go over those real quick again. You're going to send an evite. Number 2, you're going to send what's needed to the customer, what they need, notes and whatnot, and agenda, what's going to happen, what they need to bring, what the agenda is, length of the meeting, always exaggerate the time you need. Number 3, immediately after you do that, you're going to call the prospect and or text them and say, I just sent this, make sure it's there, it's in your email box, if not, let me know. and I'll resend it or check the junk or spam, whatever. And then number 4, we said practice, drill, rehearse before you make the presentation. So when you make the presentation, you look good, you know what you're talking about, you're able to address their concerns, the benefits they need to hear, and the like. So now we're ready for number 5, which is, now that you're doing the presentation, take lots of notes. And when I say take lots of note, okay, I mean take lots of notes. Take notes on what they say. Take notes on how they respond. Take notes on their concerns and anything they have. Number 6, give yourself plenty of time to deliver the things that you've promised. Okay, so now number 5, you're going to take lots of notes during the meeting. Number 6, okay, chances are when you have this presentation, the customer's going to ask that you send maybe a proposal, or going to send that you send samples, or going to send or going to ask that you send proposals and ask that you send different maybe samples and stuff like that. Okay, so when you're doing that in that presentation, give yourself plenty of time to get it over. Don't say, I'll get that stuff over to you right away, because again, what does right away mean? Does it mean immediately within 30 seconds of this meeting ending? Does it mean next week? Give yourself a time frame and give yourself extra time. For example, typically at the end of mine, I know we need about 20, 30 minutes to get calmed down. You'll see why here in a second, and get our thoughts together. So I always tell people, within 90 minutes, you will get everything that we promised you in this meeting. Then we always deliver it within 30, and we look like heroes. Okay? So give yourself plenty of time to deliver what they said. Number 6. Number 7, once you're off the meeting, okay, and everything's turned off, number 7, immediately meet after the meeting with your staff. Now that's assuming you had somebody in the room with you, because oftentimes I do. You'll find out why here in a second. Okay, but make sure that you have a meeting immediately after. I like to have someone with me in the presentation for a number of reasons. Number 1, maybe I missed something, maybe I misunderstood what they were saying, maybe I forgot to write something down, whatever. Okay, so I always like to have somebody in the meeting with me if I can, and then immediately when the meeting ends, we sit and talk about it. Now, you have to be willing to take critiques. You have to be willing to let people tell you what they thought about your presentation. I mean, and what do you care? I mean, literally here at Pro Talk, I'm the boss. My name's on the sign. I'm the Jeff Cowan, and my staff can critique my performance anytime they want, as long as it's done to improve the situation and it's not mean-spirited. I mean, I don't care what they say. It's about getting the deal with the customer. So if they tell me I need to slow down next time, I need to speed up, I need more detail, less detail, whatever it is, we listen. But always meet immediately after. Even if you get the sale, meet and discuss what you did right, what you did wrong, what you could do better the next time. Number 8, send the stuff you promised within the time frame that you said, okay, with a thank you. Now, when the thank you comes, you always email that, but if there's time permits, sit down and do the handwritten thank you note, and you've heard my comments on that many, many times, the benefit to doing that. And then finally, we'll come up with number 9, it really mirrors number 3, and that is follow up with them immediately. Once you send the stuff, okay, that they requested, once you send the proposals or whatever it is, immediately follow up with them again with a telephone call or a text saying, I just sent all of the things that you requested, I just sent all the things that you needed, okay, and they should be in your email box. And so if they're not there within the next 10 or 15 minutes, check your spam, check junk, or call me back and I'm going to send it. If you don't email it to them, you physically have to send it to them. What I like to do is I like to do it with tracking, either FedEx or the United States Postal Office. I will email them a copy of that and just say, hey, here you go. Those samples have been sent. They're on their way. Here's the tracking number just to help you out if you have any questions about it. And then again, even with that, I follow up and let them know I mailed it. It's on its way. It should be there. We'll stay in touch. So that's how you have a successful online presentation. Just real quick again, repeating myself, you send the invite. Number 2, you send what's needed or the agenda. What do they need? How long is it going to take and all that. Follow that up immediately with a text or an email to make sure they got the invite and the agenda. You're going to practice, drill, rehearse, so that when you're talking to the prospect during the presentation, you look like you know what you're talking about and you're able to address exactly what they need. 5, during the presentation, you're going to take lots of notes on everything they say. Number 6, Give yourself plenty of time at the end of the meeting to deliver the samples and the proposals and all the stuff they said they needed. Exaggerate that. Hey, look, you said you want this. It'll take us an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is to get this together. And then immediately after the meeting, take 10 or 15 minutes. You will find this to be extremely valuable to critique yourself, critique who was in the meeting, critique whatever, okay, with your staff. Number 8, send the stuff that you promised within the time frame you did with a thank you. And if it's an email or you're mailing it, okay, Number 9, you follow up with an immediate phone call and or a text again stating that we've sent it, it's on its way, here's how it's coming, there's when it should be there, and all that stuff. You do that stuff, you will have very successful online presentations. If you did miss one of those steps, you're going to weaken your ability to be effective, get the people excited, get the deal, and get the commission you deserve. Hey, my name is Jeff Cowan from thejeffcowan.com. I really appreciate you coming back and listening. I'll be back next Tuesday with another meeting, but in the meantime, here's what I want you to do, the same thing I always ask you to do. I want you to go find as many prospects as you can. I want you to make as many presentations as you can. I want you to get as many people as you can excited about your product to the point where they buy it and you earn their commission, and you take that commission and live the life you deserve, because here's exactly what I'm going to do between now and next week is that. All right? So between now and then, make it a great week. Get the book for your favorite graduate. Get it for yourself. These are great books, especially this Indy 500 one. Boy, get that book. Buy. You can get it at thejeffcowan.com or amazon.com. See you next week. Take care. Thanks for listening.